Well, ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard of Ibtihaj Muhammad, the first American Olympian to compete with a hijab on. And of course, she was all on TV, all in the cameras, and she was dolled up, and she was a huge hero for American individuality, diversity, and she was on all the TVs doing the interviews, a big hero awarded. Well, it took an interesting twist when she got political. And it's not going to end up well for her. But let's try to cover this whole story. So she competes in the Olympics, wears the hijab, becomes a hero. Now she's a big doll here in America doing interviews. So here's an interview she did with CNN talking about Donald Trump's rhetoric. She says she thinks his words are very dangerous. When these types of comments are made, no one thinks about how they really affect people. I'm African American. I don't have another home to go to. My family was born here. I was born here. I've grown up in New Jersey. All my family is from Jersey. It's like, well, where do we go? Now, of course, here's the funny thing about this. You don't have to go anywhere. You're an American citizen. Donald Trump's not doing anything to you. You're a law-abiding citizen. So why are you freaking out? You're just building up the animosity, building up the false narrative against Donald Trump. So that's not helping. So I always find that weird when people are freaking out, even though they're American citizens who have done nothing illegal. She went on and spoke to ESPN in Houston and said, I think to remember what makes our country great and its diversity. That's what our nation was built upon. And I think that we have to remember our strong suit as a nation and want for another what we want for ourselves, and that's safety. Whoa. The whole reason Donald Trump implemented the travel ban was for safety, for national security. So I find this hilarious and ironic that she's sitting here saying that Donald Trump's travel ban is somehow going to decrease safety. But nonetheless, those were the comments she made, obviously anti-Trump travel ban, spinning the false narrative, getting the wheels going against for the Trump resistance. But it goes on now. Now we're starting to reach fake news territory, folks. Now, this is from USA Today. U.S. Olympic fencer Muhammad told website Pop Sugar that she was detained a few weeks ago at U.S. Customs for 2 hours with no explanation. And now is when you start to question her motive. Fencer Muhammad said she was recently detained at U.S. Customs for 2 hours with no explanation, if you buy that. Said she didn't know if she was held as a result of the Trump administration travel ban, but it is sure the move was a result of her ethnicity. She says she's not sure if this is from the Trump travel ban. Keep that in mind. That's very important. Here was the quote. She says, I don't know why. I can't tell you why it happened to me, but I know that I'm Muslim. My response is to cry because I was so sad and upset and disheartened and just disappointed. Well, now here's the ironic thing about this, folks. She's saying she's crying because she's been banned because she was Muslim, but the real reason why she was banned, we'll get to in a second, is a result of Islamic terror. The whole reason all of this was put in place was because of terror attacks by radical Islamic jihadists. It's like somehow this vacuum has sucked that reality out of people's minds. Now, if she wants to come out and say, hey, look, quit profiling me. 9/11 was an inside job by the Bush administration. Okay, now all of a sudden we're getting into some sort of a real conversation that actually has some roots that we can get down to. She's just up here saying, well, what about safety? Well, that's why Donald Trump did it. But I'm a Muslim. That's why we have all these procedures with TSA because of Islamic terror. So again, what is her motive? What is her motive? She goes on. She was asked if she could say one thing to President Trump, what would it be? It should be sorry. But here's what she said. I feel like that's a loaded question. I'm not really sure how to answer that. It's like, where do I start? Now, again, folks, keep in mind, she said in the interview she wasn't sure if this was from Trump's travel ban. Well, guess what, folks? It turns out the whole thing was fake news. She got detained in December. Okay? Obama was still president. And the reason she got detained had nothing to do with her being Muslim. It had nothing to do with the travel ban. It was because of procedures put in place to protect air passengers from terrorist attacks, specifically of Islamic nature. It's unbelievable. Now, look at some of the news outlets that ran with this fake news. You will not be surprised. Washington Post, Muslim American Olympian Muhammad says she was detained by U.S. Customs. Ends up being a hit piece on the Trump travel ban. Huffington Post, Muhammad reveals she was detained by U.S. Customs without explanation. Ends up being a total hit on the Trump travel ban. Again, this is the false narrative that is dividing this country. NewJersey.com, same thing, running with the false narrative. Now let's get into some of the tweets. Let's troll the tweeters. Let's troll the fake news tweeters. Muhammad herself tweets, "Our diversity makes us strong. Hashtag no ban, no wall." You know what? That's perfectly fine. She's welcome to have her political opinions. I have no problem with that. But I wonder what would happen if we had a conversation about how Iranians feel about Americans. Chanting death to Americans in the street? I'm sorry, do you have a vacation planned to Aleppo sometime? Damascus? Are you heading there in the near future, Muhammad? I doubt it, but maybe you are. I don't know. It's just ridiculous for them to take these political views when they're just so disdained by the very countries that they're trying to stand up for. Here's some of the other tweets. This is from Steve Politi. These are all leftist liberal media pundits. New Jersey fencer Muhammad, Olympic hero and wonderful role model, detained at airport because of course she was. Oh, because she's Muslim, right? Wrong. Because of Muslim terror and implementations that have been put in place to protect people traveling through the air, whether you like them or not. Whatever you think the truth behind that is, that's the case. So Steve Politi, you just got trolled by fake news. Sam Willie, recent comments from Muhammad after being held for 2 hours for no reason by U.S. immigration for no reason. Sam Willie, you just got trolled by fake news. Oh, and it reaches our government. Senator Bob Menendez. She competed for USA in a hijab. Now it's gotten her detained. Wrong. More proof Muslim ban. The Muslim ban doesn't even exist. Is un-American. I stand with Muhammad. No ban, no wall. She's Muslim and she still got into the country. Can you believe this? This is like a white male screaming, "You're a white male." There's a Muslim ban as the Muslim enters the country. Unbelievable. Well, this might have to do with Donald Trump. Trump's not even president yet. Wow. It goes on. This is a popular Twitter account. I am Muslim too. Retweet if you stand with Muhammad, the Olympic champion who recently was detained at U.S. Customs without explanation. Again, without explanation. Total fake news. You know they told her why. Part of the screening process. You know that she knew it wasn't because of Trump's travel ban. Trump wasn't even president yet. Total fake news. What is Ibtihaj Muhammad's directive? What is her motivation? Why was she spreading fake news? And of course, the Daily Caller covers it beautifully. Muslim Olympian said to be detained by Trump's travel ban was actually detained in December by Obama administration. They have a source. Even though Muhammad originally did not give date for her detention, the mainstream media ran with the story that Trump's travel ban led to her detention. A customs official told the Washington Examiner that not only did Muhammad exaggerate the length for which she was held, she failed to mention the fact that it occurred in December while President Obama was still in office. The Washington Examiner has a great story covering this whole thing. So again, what was Muhammad's motive in this? Did she intentionally lie to you? Why did she intentionally lie to you? Why did the left pick up this fake news story and run with it as if it was real without zero research at all? This story illustrates so much. Not just the fake news behind the Trump travel ban, but also how the left goes about attacking things that Trump is doing or covering any news story in general. Fake news running with false narratives with no research, no logic behind it at all. So there you go. Congratulations to the left. You just got trolled by your fake news hero, Ibtihaj Muhammad. This is Owen Schroyer for Infowars.com. Real news.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.